Yeah, so we're kicking things off with what's happening with Fantasy Flight Games. Obviously, Star Wars Legion is now out for everyone to go and pick up
Star
in the
Wars?
stores. And I was
Oh,
kind
You
of
no,
just,
don't
no.
say.
was it the news? What the
I
hell?
wonder who
But
wrote
yes.
this segment.
I wonder who got that added to the running order.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the things we wanted to focus in on is some of the sort of peripheral stuff that they're doing.
Yes.
And this is they're actually providing people with the choice to pick up two 3x3 battle mats that come together to form a 6x3 if you want
Yeah.
to use that.
Mhm.
But also they're doing some bits and pieces of terrain as well. So they've come forward with some extra elements that will add to your games as well. So you picked
Yeah.
up the core set, you've got all the troops, you've got some of the little plastic pieces that came in that. They've also added in some extra bits and bobs as well, so you can
Yeah.
put together some really cool looking scenes from Tatooine and the like as well, which is really cool. One of the other cool things about what they're doing with the terrain sets for this is it actually comes with little scenarios in the box. So when you pick up the terrain kit, you actually get some bits and bobs to play some cool scenarios on the
Yeah.
table. So sort of sabotaging moisture, farming equipment, and all that kind
Oh,
of thing
that's
as
a
well.
great
So, yeah.
touch.
Isn't it?
I like this because you've got the three things you use to actually set up your game. So
Yep.
you've got your deployment in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
you've got your battlefield conditions in green, and I believe the blue is your mission.
Yeah.
So being able to add that and expand that is fantastic because it was the one thing I was sort of hungering more for within that core box.
I also wondered, does this give us the structure that we need now to start creating our own cool missions?
Yes.
You know, it's because I have missions in mind myself.
Yeah.
So I'd like to know what is the best way to structure those missions. So
Can't be over complex. Has to be a single trigger, I would say. Because if you do like a chain quest during a game, you've only got 6 rounds to do it. You will never get it done.
Mhm.
It's the same thing as I used to have with Volsung. I would try and make my own scenarios, but I would make them too complex. So keep it simple, stupid.
Okay. So
You've actually started having your own games of Star Wars Legion.
Yes, I have, yeah.
How have you been finding it?
love it. I love
I've
it.
been teaching him.
Yeah, it's
I hope I've been teaching him right.
yeah.
Don't worry, YouTube commenters will tell you otherwise.
and anybody that knows me knows I don't care.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
If you're having awesome fun times,
I'm immediately just been going in and looking into the narrative aspects of it. So I already have a mission in mind that I'm desperate to try out.
White Tiger in Tatooine.
Well, no. What I want to do is
the White Bantha.
he'll tell you about you mentioned triggers.
Yes.
Okay, you know I'm a big fan of using the game to explore a narrative. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I have is I have and I'm hoping to play this out at some point. Okay, either as a live play test of a scenario might be the way to do it.
That could
You
work.
know, so we just I say, look, here's a scenario, and we'll
Yeah.
maybe do a live stream where we
we don't
see
do it
if we
as
can.
an actual full-on playthrough. This is us testing our
This
scenario.
is
with
just
the
testing
community.
if a scenario works, and if it kind of breaks, we can fudge it and keep going to see if we can
Yeah, we just
make it work.
adjust it on the fly. Yeah, I agree with that.
So what I have is this idea of a large communications tower. Okay.
Okay.
We will get the editors to bring up a picture of what I'm talking about. Okay. So if you can imagine a Tatooine style table, okay, with a large comm tower, and there's an Imperial patrol, okay, a small Imperial patrol of maybe an ATST and a couple of speeder bikes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that works.
And they're just on their standard patrol, and they've heard go and check out quadrant blah 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 blah. There's some strange radioactivity. Okay, they wander, they zoom into this village on Tatooine or on Jeddah, desert world. Okay,
Interesting little design thing. In the original movie, you know the speeder going into Tatooine?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how they did the hover effect? They put Vaseline on the camera to blur underneath the speeder.
Serious?
Seriously.
Well, if you bring your Vaseline in, I mean, you'll use that during the mission, okay?
Yeah.
So they wander and they see this big, tall, white tower, okay?
Yes.
And it's actually a little. The rebels are there, okay? And the rebels are using the tower to block communications. So the speeder bikes and the ATST have arrived, and they find themselves that they are out of comlink and they're completely outnumbered. Okay, so one ATST, two speeder bikes, but there's all of the rebels is there. Okay, the mission is they have to try and get to the tower. Okay, so it's a run the gauntlet kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Where as they're going, all of these rebels are coming out and shooting out of these guys.
That's an interesting reversal, because usually it's the rebels who are the outnumbered.
Well, this is something that's been playing on my mind recently. During this Star Wars binge that I've been having, okay, it's gradually been occurring to me that the line is more and more blurred between who actually is the bad guys, okay. Between the rebels and the
I think the guy
so.
shooting lightning out of his hands, screaming "unlimited power" might be a bad guy.
Well,
Possibly.
I like the idea of doing the role reversals on this. So these guys are completely outnumbered. All they can do is try and get to the transmitter tower. Okay, if they get to the transmitter tower, we then will have a little table that they can roll off. Now, I might have a condition in it. You know the way in Star Wars Legion, there's different dice with different odds for getting cool stuff.
Yeah. So the black, the white, the red.
Yeah. So what I might do is I might build in a condition that if they get there super quick, or if they get there super late, depending on when they get there, or the number of them that get there, it changes the color of dice that they roll. Okay. And then when they roll the dice, it goes on a little table. So if they get a critical, okay, they get the best result. If they get a non-critical, they get a good result. And if they get a blank, they then get a fairly standard result.
So is this for the entire dice pool or per dice? So for each dice that rolls a critical, they get something great. For each dice that rolls a standard, they get something okay?
What we would have is if all three of them make it, they roll. What's the best dice? Is the red one, isn't it, or is it the black?
Red is the best, black is the middle, white is the worst, I think.
Okay, so if all three of them make it, they roll a red dice.
Yeah.
If two of them make it, they roll a black dice. If one of them makes it, they roll a white dice. Okay, which means that it's less likely for cool stuff to happen. Right. The worst result is or they managed to break down the communications and reinforcements come in, and a Lambda shuttle lands. Maybe at a predefined point on the table.
Yeah.
And it offloads a bunch of stormtroopers. Okay?
Just to turn the tables.
So the middle result, though, is a Lambda lands at a place of your choice. Okay? And offloads a bunch of stormtroopers. Meaning that your stormtroopers are more likely to get into the action a lot quicker. And maybe change the loadout of the stormtroopers to include more heavy weapons or something like that. Possibly.
Don't forget, each squad can only have one heavy weapon. Yeah. So... it's something I'm considering here is to actually give you a fighting chance to actually get across the table to where you need to go within the 6 turns. Like I said, if it's on a 6-foot table, your movement is that 3 times per turn. So you have a fair distance to go. You might just get there at the end of it. So you need to work that out.
We need to test it, and that's why I'm thinking of doing the live streams.
Sounds like a good plan.
Using live streams to explore scenarios together and with the community, so that we can then give these scenarios out to because I'm hoping other people will join in on this Legion thing with me, because I'm just having such a blast with it.
One cool thing to possibly do is so the rebels aren't already deployed and you're not having to fight through them. Have them deploy, say, 2 units per turn onto the table from, say, buildings and stuff. And maybe have it that your ATSD can blow up a building a turn to try and stop the rebels
to see if they can stop the deployment, or at least reduce the deployment areas.
Imagine there's tunnels.
Which there would be.
Could blow up the building, and then the exit from the tunnel is ruined, and now the rebels have to come up further away from you. And then you have more chance to get through. Also, for the rebels loadout themselves, I would say first turn, regular squad with no upgrades. Second turn, a squad with 1 type of heavy weapons. Fourth turn, squad with proper heavy weapons that could take out an ATST. Just as the alarm within the rebel base starts to cycle up and they know more about what they need to get out there.
If you roll the top result, though.
How's that?
No. Lambda craft arrives anywhere you want and offloads the 501st and Vader.
Possibly. That's cool.
Okay? And we give Vader a force move. To allow him to do a big force jump. I'm not talking about Vader from A New Hope. I'm talking about Vader from the end of Rogue One. That's the Vader that's going to walk off this Lambda craft, and he's going to utterly kick
best moment
ass.
all of Rogue One.
Oh,
So he
Watch the whole movie for that moment.
He has just finished his stay at his summer home when he's fully healed.
This is Vader out of the back of the tank. Okay, they've scraped all the dead skin off him. He's feeling fresh and fruity, and he is going for it. Like, I mean, I want to give Vader the ability to do a couple of force moves, because I really want the rebels to feel the full force of badassery.
You want them to feel the force.
Oh, to feel the full force, Justin. The full force. Yeah.
You need to look at... I think there's a moment in one of the Star Wars comics where Darth Vader gets surrounded by rebel troops on his own in the middle of a desert planet, I think. He's just standing there, battered armor. I think one eye's peering through, holding his lightsaber, and they're telling him to surrender. And he just says, "All I see are dead men."
So these scenarios, right? You and Jerry are gonna be exploring all of the kind of tournament-y kind of scenarios. Okay.
Yeah. As new units come out, we're going to see about getting them painted up and put in. We're also looking even now at our next expansions. But I'll talk about that for my hobby time and backstage.
That is what I'm giving you and Jerry the absolute carte blanche. You guys go and explore all the official stuff all you want. Okay. Yeah. I want to tell stories.
I'm in with you there.
So if you, I need your help, and I need you guys to get stuck in as well on these live streams, because I just want to tell stories, and if we can make the scenarios work, we'll chuck them out, and then you guys can try playing them as well. But
now that I have the mechanics down, I think properly,
you see where I'm going about?
I should be able to actually help you build what you need.
Yeah, it's not necessarily about a balanced fight, okay? Yeah. Because at the start it's asymmetric, okay? And at the end, I want it to be asymmetric in the other way, provided Vader gets in. If Vader gets in, it might be a point smash by this, because of the way I'm planning to upgrade Vader, I want the rebels to. I want Vader to feel like Vader should feel. Vader is the ultimate badass. Yeah. It's like Luke. Luke in the Last Jedi, okay? Yeah. In reality, in the Star Wars universe, Luke probably could have faced down all of of those AT-ATs on his own. Yeah. He could have force farted them out of the place. That's how powerful a Jedi Grandmaster of Luke. Like, Luke is the most powerful of all of the Jedi that ever there were. Yeah. He was, but Vader is kind of like the equal opposite of that, and I want to see Vader. I want him on that tabletop in that moment to be completely like just kicks ass, because that's the story I have in my mind.
This is another reason I like the cycling up of the rebels, with them getting more and more reinforcements as the turns roll on, because then it's going to look as if, oh crap, Vader's here, oh shit.
Yeah. So seeing these little terrain packs coming out is great, because we're starting to get an idea of the kind of the structure that we can use, because not every game needs to be big and brash like that, but there's so many different kinds of MacGuffin. Is it a MacGuffin that Lucas called it? Yeah. MacGuffin. It's that you can use in these games. Like the other one is, and I want to try and like a lot of you guys will be like me, that you were like Star Wars movie fans, okay? So the things like kyber crystals, okay? You kind of got the impression, I see you constructed your own lightsaber, but you never really got to know just how important a lightsaber was. Okay, so there's an underlying resource within the Star Wars universe called the kyber crystal. Okay, and the kyber crystal is used. It powered like the lasers, the super lasers on the Death Star was powered from kyber crystals. All of the Jedi lightsabers, the Jedis as young Padawans would go to a planet to hunt and find their kyber crystal.
So there was a ritualistic thing that we never got to see.
The Sith,
KOTOR, you see it in KOTOR.
Yeah, the Sith actually manufacture their own synthetic.
Yep, that's why theirs is red.
Yeah, that's why theirs is red. There's a couple. At least
that's one explanation.
Yeah, there's a couple of different explanations. The other is that they've found some way to make the kyber crystals bleed. It's the blood of the kyber crystal. So. And that's what corrupts them. Kylo Ren's kyber crystal has a flaw, has a crack in it, which causes all that spitting and sparking. Yeah. It's so one of the things I want to play around with is the idea of, because we used to do it on the Necron tables. Do you remember You get all the little green crystals.
Yeah, I remember those.
But I want to see what kyber crystals, what crystals we have lying around the studio that you could set out, and you could be kind of harvesting kyber crystals. There's all sorts of interesting stuff.
Maybe reach out to our friends at Anarchy Models, because they do some really nice ones.
Yeah. Yeah, there's loads. Anyway, thanks for bringing up Star Wars, guys. You guys,
a scheduled program.
You guys get the Hobbit shit out of me all the time. It's not often I get to go on and on about something.
Not
like
often.
Okay, I always go on and on, but not often about my own hobby. And Star Wars has definitely become a center of a hobby for me. So I'm really enjoying it.